Assalamu alaikum. Today I am going to discuss about amino acid, that means definition of amino acid, classification of amino acid. So, what do you mean by amino acid? Amino acid is the amino group containing carboxylic acid. That means in amino acid there will be two functional groups. Number one amino group and number two is the carboxylic group, and it is the monomer of protein. So, amino acid have an alpha carbon and carboxylic group, amino group and a side chain different from one amino acid to another and a alpha hydrogen. So, although there are 300 amino acid exhibits in nature, but only 20 amino acid constitute human and mammalian protein. That means যে আমাদের বডিতে শুধুমাত্র 20টা প্রকার অ্যামাইনো অ্যাসিড দিয়েই সব ধরনের প্রোটিন সিনথেসিস হচ্ছে। Are there more beyond these 20 amino acid well known amino acids? Yes, there are also two amino acids. These are selenocysteine, that is known as 21st amino acid, and pyrrolysine, that is known as 22nd amino acid. There are two isomers of amino acid. One is known as L amino acid and another one is D amino acid. That means when the amino group situated in the left side, that is known as L amino acid, and when the amino group situated in the right side, that is known as D amino acid. According to structure of the side chain, amino acid can be classified into three groups. These are acidic amino acid, basic amino acid and neutral amino acid. Acidic amino acid are examples of acidic amino acid are aspartic acid, glutamic acid. Example of basic amino acid are lysine, arginine and histidine, and neutral amino acid can be classified into aliphatic, aromatic and amino amino acid. Aliphatic amino acid also classified into sulfur containing branched chain hydroxyl group, amide group and simple structure. Sulfur containing amino acids are cysteine, methionine. Branched chain, the amino acid which have the branched chain are valine, and the hydroxyl group containing amino acids are serine. Amide group containing amino acid are for example glutamine, and simple structure containing amino acid for example glycine and alanine. And example of aromatic amino acid are phenylalanine, tyrosine, tryptophan, and amino amino acid are proline containing amino acids. According to polarity of the side chain, amino acid can be classified into two groups, polar amino acid and non-polar amino acid. Polar amino acid contain hydrophilic side chain. For example, acidic and basic amino acids are actually polar amino acid, that is glycine, serine, threonine, tyrosine, and non-polar amino acid contain hydrophobic side chain. For example, methionine, valine, leucine, isoleucine, etc. Nutritionally, amino acid can be classified into two groups, essential amino acids and non-essential amino acid. Essential amino acid actually not synthesized in our body, so they should be supplied in diet. They must be supplied in diet. There are actually essential amino acid actually 8 in number. These are isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, tryptophan and valine. And non-essential amino acid can be synthesized in our body, so this is not necessary, they have to be in the diet. As non-essential amino acid are 10 in number. These are alanine, arginine, asparagine, aspartic acid, cysteine, glutamate, glutamine and glycine, histidine, proline, serine, tyrosine. Humans can make arginine and histidine from other nutrients, but children and some adults cannot make enough of them, needed dietary source. So, these two amino acids are known as semi-essential amino acid. Metabolically, amino acid can be classified into three groups: absolute glucogenic amino acid, absolute ketogenic amino acid, and both glucogenic and ketogenic amino acid. Absolute glucogenic amino acid have carbon skeleton that show the metabolic potential to produce glucose, for example glycine, alanine. Absolute ketogenic amino acid have carbon skeleton that shows the metabolic potential to produce ketone bodies, for example leucine, lysine, and both glucogenic and ketogenic type of amino acid have the carbon skeleton that shows metabolic potential to produce both glucose and amino acid, for example, phenylalanine, tyrosine, tryptophan, etc. There are some physical and chemical properties of amino acid. Physical properties are amino acids are colorless, crystalline and usually water soluble, possess high melting point, that is greater than 200 degrees centigrade, and produce stereoisomer and shows optical activity. And as per chemical properties, amino acid can act as ampholyte, that is behave both as acid and base at body pH and also act as buffer. Express charge on surface and have definite isoelectric pH. So, there is a new term isoelectric pH. Definition of isoelectric pH is the isoelectric pH of amino acid is the pH at which amino acid exists as deuterion possessing same amount of positive and negative charge on their surface with net charge 0. At isoelectric pH, amino acids show no electrophoretic mobility, become least soluble and rapidly precipitate out of solution. Depending on isoelectric pH and pH of surrounding amino acid can exist in three forms, that is anion. If media pH is greater than isoelectric pH, amino acid exists as anion. If media pH less than isoelectric pH, then amino acid exists as cation. And deuterion dipolar form, so here net charge is 0. This occurs when the media pH is equal to isoelectric pH. Isoelectric pH of amino acid used to separate amino acids by chemical method or by electrophoresis. There are some other chemical properties of amino acid. These are undergo decarboxylation to form amines, form ester with alcohol, form salt with acid or base, give purple color with ninhydrin and form carbamino compound with carbon dioxide. There are some reactions showing these the properties. Now, I am going to discuss about the function of the amino acid, that is amino acid act as building blocks of peptides, polypeptides and protein. Amino acid can synthesize the neurotransmitters, hormone, purines, pyrimides, heme, etc. Support gluconeogenesis during fasting and starvation. Amino acid also act as source of sulfur and amino acid act as metabolic fuel to provide energy. So, this is all about amino acid for today. Thank you so much.